Hi, so in this video I have this very glam look which I think would be perfect for prom or really any event you need to dress up for. And so if you want to find out how to get this look, then just keep watching. I'm going to start out with using my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer and just placing that in the center of my face and basically just my T-zone. And if you're going to a prom, you probably want to use a primer just because you're going to be sweating and dancing and you don't want your makeup to come off. And then I'm taking my L'Oreal True Match Foundation and just dotting that on my face and then buffing it into my skin. And this is a really good foundation. I definitely recommend it. It's very buildable and it gives great coverage. And I'm also doing a second layer of it just because I want a very full coverage look. And I'm also taking it down my neck so it helps match my body more. And then taking my MAC Pro Longwear, I am just doing a triangle shape underneath my eyes to help conceal any dark circles I may have and also to help brighten the under eye area. And I'm applying it with one finger and then blending it out with another. And I'm also taking this on the sides of my mouth, on my nose, and on my chin. This is going to help highlight without having to use a sparkly highlighter. And then taking my Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser by Maybelline, I'm just placing that right underneath where I would contour to help give the contour more contrast. And I'm also just using this as a highlighter, and the reason I'm not using my Pro Longwear is because the Dark Circle Eraser is a lot lighter than my MAC Pro Longwear. So I'm just placing this where I'm going to highlight, and it's just giving a subtle highlight without having to use a shimmery highlight, which I will later. And then I'm taking my Sonia Kashak Cream Bronzer in Warm Tan. I'm starting at the tops of my ears and dragging it down towards my mouth, right underneath my cheekbone, and also underneath my jawline and on my temple. And I love using a cream bronzer. It just gives the face so much dimension and shape, and I just think it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I'm also taking it on my finger and taking it along the sides of my nose and blending it out just to help slim my nose down a little bit. And then taking my Maybelline Dream Matte Powder, I am just setting my face. I am just basically pressing this into my skin. I'm not moving it around because I don't want to move the products I've already placed down. And this is also helping buff out and blend the cream contour I put down by not making it such a harsh, dark line. It's helping it look a little bit more natural. And then taking my Hoola bronzer by Benifit, I'm just going over where I've already contoured just to give it more of a chiseled look. You can skip this if you like, but I love contouring, so I kind of had to. But yeah, you can definitely skip this. And then I'm just taking a clean brush and blending it out so it's not as a harsh line. And then taking my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Blushing Bride, which is just a berry plum color. I'm placing that on the backs of my cheeks and blending it down onto the apples of my cheeks. And you can really use any blush color, but just keep in mind the lipstick you are using. Depending on the color, you may want to reconsider and choose your blush wisely. But the lipstick I'm choosing will go great with this, so that's why I picked it. And then taking a highlight shade called Gleaming Pearl, which is part of the Divergent collection kit. I'm just placing that on the tops of my cheekbones, so when I turn my face, that part of my face catches the light. And I'm also placing it on my Cupid's bow. And then taking my NYX Auto Eyebrow Pencil in a dark brown, I'm just drawing a line underneath the bottom of my brows and then going on the tops of my brows. And I'm basically just sketching where my brows are and then filling it in. I'm not drawing them on, but mostly just filling them in and defining them more. And then taking my Wet n Wild On Cloud 9 palette, the crease color in it, I am just setting that brow pencil and just making sure all my hairs are in place. And then for the front, I am just flicking my brush up so there's still a little bit of color, but it's not as dark as color as the rest of my brow, which on brows it is always lightest in the very inner part of the brow and then gets darker as it goes out into the tail. And then taking my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, I am just priming my eyelids from my lash line up to my brows. And I definitely recommend an eye primer if you're going to be wearing eyeshadow for a long period of time. And then taking Strange from the Naked 3, I'm just using this as my brow bone highlight and placing it on the right underneath the tail of my brow. And then taking Tease from the Naked 2 palette by Urban Decay, I'm just sweeping that in my crease. And I'm taking it a little bit above my crease as well, closer to my brow, just because this is going to act as a transition color for the darker colors I'm going to be placing down later. And then going back to the On Cloud 9 palette by Wet n Wild, I'm taking that same brow I used in my brows and just placing that in my crease, but not going up as high as I did with Tease. And then I'm going back with Tease and going along the edges of that darker brown to help transition it more into my skin tone and not make it such a harsh dark line. And then taking my Sugarpill eyeshadow in Bulletproof, I'm just placing that on the outer half of my crease. And I would use Blackout from the Naked 2 palette, but mine fell out of the palette, so I'm just using my Sugarpill shadow. And I'm making sure it's the darkest in the very outer corner of my crease. And then I am taking a blending brush and just blending out the edges to help soften it out. Then I'm just going back and adding it into the very outer part of my crease to help darken it up. And then just blending it out, and I do this until I get it the way I want it. And then I'm going back into that chocolate brown and blending along the edges to help transition it out and blend it more. And then I'm going back with Tease and just adding that red at the very outer edge of all the shadows. And then underneath the eye, I am taking the dark brown I used and placing that halfway along my lower lash line. And then taking a little bit of the black on the very outer corner of my eye and blending it out with a clean blending brush. This is just going to smoky it out more. And then taking Verve from the Naked 2 palette, I am placing that all along my lid. And I'm also taking it on the inner part of my lower lash line and into my tear duct to help open my eyes up more. And I'm taking it a little bit into the black just to help blend it, so it's not like from silver to black, it's more of a blended look. And then taking my Maybelline eyestudio gel liner, I am just starting from the corner of my eye and making a line and then connecting it back to my lid and just doing a line across my lashes. So basically just doing a wing liner. You could do your eyeliner any way you want. I just chose to go with a wing liner because it is my favorite. Using my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Perversion, I'm lining 3/4 of my waterline. I'm not doing the whole thing because I don't want to close off my eyes. I want them very open in the inner part. And I'm also taking it on the very outer corner of my upper waterline. And then for lashes, I'm using my Ardell Wispies, which are my absolutely favorite lashes. They look so natural, but they give so much length and volume. They are just amazing. I love these lashes. So I am just applying that using my Duo eyelash adhesive. Then for my lips, I'm using Maybelline's Color Sensation in Hooked on Pink and just filling in my lips. You really could use any color with this eye look, but I chose to go with a more subtle look. And then I'm taking my NYX lip liner in Plum and just lining the very outer part of my lip. This is going to make them look a little bit more plumpier and more full. And then using MAC's Zestful eyeshadow, I'm just pressing that right in the center, which again is going to make my lips look fuller. And this is the final look. I think it is absolutely gorgeous for prom or an event you have coming up that you need to dress up for. So I hope you like it and subscribe to my channel for more videos.